Joining us out from Texas is a guy who knows the situation very well. His name is Chris Salcedo. You hear him on KSEV radio in Houston. And he has a new book out, The Rise of the Liberty-Loving Latino, A New American Revolution. And you ought to check it out. Very interesting book. Okay, so are you seeing what I'm seeing, Chris? That Hispanic Americans, hardworking, here legally, are getting hammered and are not pleased with the current administration?
I think I'm seeing that there are economic headwinds, sure, that every American, not just Hispanics, are dealing with because of what's going on over in Iran that you articulated earlier. High gas prices, I've been saying this on my programs, that if high gas prices remain high coming into the fall, it's going to be a big problem for the Republicans. President Trump, as you articulated, took a calculated risk here. But I'll say something about Unidos. I'll say something about Libre that you were citing. You know, their pollsters, their press in the Latino community, the Spanish-speaking community, is just as liberal and left-wing as ours is. So they ask a lot of biased questions. Now, and notice the questions they didn't ask. Are you satisfied with what President Trump has been doing as far as criminal illegal aliens breaking into the country? Has the Trump administration fulfilled their promise to stop the massive criminal illegal immigration into your neighborhoods that was destroying your neighborhoods under Democrats? Notice they didn't ask that question, because that goes right to not the Republicans' benefit bill, because there's a difference between Republicans and the America First coalition in my mind, because the Latino community didn't switch over to vote for Republicans. They switched over to vote for President Trump because he gave them something to vote for. But these questions are selectively asked to avoid all the questions that got President Trump, swept him and, on his coattails, the Republicans into power.
Okay. Do you think the answers to the questions, and I picked out the simplest ones, are erroneous or wrong? They're not legitimate answers?
I would have a look at the samples, and I'm not familiar with the polls. I don't know exactly how they asked or the methodology. I will say that in general, I think a lot of Americans are not happy about higher gas prices. That inflation report that you brought up today, nobody is happy about that. And of course, affordability is what President Trump ran on. But still, as bad as it is today because of what's been going on with the Iranian conflict, it still doesn't even come close to as bad as it got during the Biden regime. And frankly, we didn't see those polls coming out in mass about...
Look, I'm not defending the pollsters at all. I'm trying to gauge whether the average working Hispanic voter is going to vote for the Republican Party and Donald Trump by extension, or sit it out. That's what I'm trying to assess here.
Yeah, and I think that right now with President Trump not on the ballot, I think the Republican Party, because of their lack of productivity, is going to be facing a lot of headwinds, not just because of the economic concerns around this country, but the Save America Act. You have the intransigence of the Republicans in Congress, who, and Bill, you've seen this dog and pony show for years. Oh, just give us the House and we'll make some change. We'll give them the House, that change doesn't come. Give us the House and the Senate and we'll make some change. Well, give us the House and the Senate and the presidency, we'll make some change. The current Republican Party has done nothing in the affirmative toward the America First agenda since last June. You can't win on something if you haven't done anything in a year to advance the America First agenda that millions of Latinos voted with, 77 million Americans in total, for that change. The Republican Party has
wouldn't the ICE crackdown, the border shutdown, the Venezuelan situation in Cuba soon to fall, wouldn't all that come under the banner of America First?
Oh, sure it would. And that's all courtesy of what President Trump has exclusive control over. What he has been able to do in foreign policy, I think it will redound positively inside the Latino community. What he's done on immigration, there's no thanks to Congress. Heck, you had both political parties agreeing to defund ICE and Border Patrol for a time, on the promise that it would be refunded. Eventually, it got there through reconciliation. But, we've endured a government that is dysfunctional, and you have, I'm sorry, a Republican Party that seems to be going along with, what have we had? 3 shutdowns courtesy of the Democrats, which we were told was a cardinal sin. But I think that right now, the Republicans who are running for re-election without President Trump on the ballot, they don't have a lot to crow about because they haven't been fulfilling on their end of the bargain the America First promises that President Trump ran and won.
All right. Texas, your state.
Yep.
So Tellerico, the Democratic nominee for the Senate, kind of out there pretty far. And he's going to be going up against, what's his name, the former Attorney General, Paxton, who's very conservative. I haven't seen any polling about Hispanic American preference there. What's your thought on it?
I have seen some non-scientific polling that puts them neck and neck here in the state of Texas. Some of the stats you were pointing out about a near 50% split in the Latino vote in 2024. I'd also like to point out that males went for majority. Males in the Latino community went majority for the America First coalition in the last election. And I think you're seeing a lot of them based in Texas. So a lot of them will naturally gravitate toward the most conservative attorney general in the United States, Ken Paxton, who there's a lot of parallels between Mr. Paxton and Mr. Trump. They've been attacked by the establishment. They've been vilified by the establishment, wrongly so and falsely so. And Bill, you and I are both Catholics. And James Tallarico is a sacrilegious individual who does not have a value system that meets Catholicism, which a lot of Latinos are Catholics as well, doesn't meet that anywhere near in the neighborhood, meet the criteria of Catholicism, much less Christianity writ large. James Tallarico, once the campaign gets going in earnest, is going to be revealed for the left-wing extremist that he has been and continues to be.
And you don't believe that Hispanics are going to go for the progressive programs?
I don't believe they will, because if you look at, and again, the latest data I have been, and I write about it extensively in the book, The Rise of the Liberty-Loving Latino, the counties that dotted right along the Texas-Mexico border had been Democrat forever, Bill, had been Democrat. And I had guys coming on my show who were Democrats saying, we're begging and pleading the Biden regime, please stop this influx, this massive illegal immigration influx. And they were given the proverbial hand by the Democrats. And those counties all flipped red in the last election. Yeah. And they are recovering now. And I think that's it's going to redound positively for the more right-leaning conservatives here in Texas, in particular, in that Senate race.
But you think the race is neck and neck at this point?
According to the polling, I don't trust it because the race just begun. Because remember, it was Cornyn and Paxton.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we don't have a lot of data or debates for anything.
Exactly.
I spent some time in Starr County, Rio Grande City. Oof. Pretty intense place. But I agree with you that the Hispanic American workers that I know, and I know plenty of them, because I live on Long Island and that's 80% of the workforce, they're essentially conservative thinkers. They don't like this crazy communism stuff because that's what ruled and ruined Cuba, Venezuela, and a whole bunch of others. Hey, Chris, good luck with the book. We appreciate you coming on today.
Bill, appreciate it.